pattern. When I always talk of patterns, and I think a lot of people would see them as fabric patterns that you cut out. Um, so I thought we could start with having to define pattern, from my point of view and others. So Webster's Dictionary, it says a form or model proposed for imitation. Um, that was different than the definition I expected. The second one says something designed or used for a model for making things. So it seemed to me like, according to their definition, it was a piece that could be repeated, but it was a piece, um, a model in concerning dress. It would be a sort of a cutout piece of paper, and that would be the model or the pattern that would be used. And in my case, um, I use pattern. Um, I thought pattern meant repeating more or less, that it was the repetition that was the pattern. But as it turns out, it's the piece that is repeated that seems to be the definition of a pattern. So for me, I work in this little program, and this is a piece that I would produce to and repeat to create a pattern. I I could duplicate this piece and um, and then flip it like so, and then turn it green like this. One was, and then put them together like so, and I could repeat that these pieces along this length and produce a pattern. So by definition, I guess it would be the smallest component here. And of all these pieces, this would be said to be the smallest component that I could produce to repeat over and over again to produce a repeating pattern. And that's generally how I um, work to produce different types of material, different fabrics with different qualities. Um, After I would create the pattern here, I would take the pattern and put it uh, into this program, which then goes to a machine that would run this pattern to create fabric such as this, which is the same fabric as this pattern that I just showed you on my machine, which happens to amount to being dual helices, like DNA strands. That if you look at these purple strands, you'll see that they basically spiral around each other. Two strands spiral around each other, and the green strands do the same thing as they intertwine each other, going in opposing angular directions. And so that's, how I define patterns. Um, I don't know that's a whole lot different than dressmaking, but it certainly it feels a little different to me. Um, the fun thing with the patterns is I get to uh, well, sort of like in knitting where you would drop stitch pieces. Um, a lot of these patterns can be mm, tweaked, adjusted to create different patterns. As shown here, this piece has a multitude of patterns through it. At least 3 or 4 pieces, different patterns that produce different tensions along its length, and different hole sizes, which give you a larger um, a larger expansion rate in the material, or higher densities to give you more smoother, more comfortable feel. Yeah, patterns, fun web. Thanks for sharing with me.